Selling out is easy to do. It's not so hard to find a buyer for you. When money talks, you're under its spell. Ah, but what do you have when there's nothing left to sell? Selling out, I'd rather call it compromise, is easy to do. Sometimes you have to close your eyes. It's not so hard. Being rich is no disgrace. To find a buyer for you, put on your shoes and join the race. When money talks, it has a very soothing voice. You're under its spell. It's up to you to make the choice. Ah, but what Before do you have know it, when there's nothing left to sell?
Good evening, everyone. This is Finding My Audience. You're the audience. I'm Alan Strickland Williams. That was Tom Lehrer with Selling Out. I think Selling Out, I kind of like that as just using that as the song. We'll mix it up here and there, but did you notice, did it sound different? Does it sound different now? Does it look different? We're upstairs again. Got the mixer working. Pray to God this all works out. I don't know what's going on with the lighting stuff. I can't make the little shadow go away. It's different from downstairs. But hi, hello, what's up? We've got some stuff working. We're trying to make it happen. I'm right next to the my window, which is right next to all the mailboxes. So I'm sure that neighbors are going to be coming home during this episode. But that's okay. We're going to roll with it. Did I do the clap? I did do the clap. I've got my podcast rules. This is blazing hot. This is crazy. We're going to need to figure out the lighting stuff. So basically, I've got the mixer. We got it going. It's working. This is the 14th episode in the mix. It is 7:08 p.m. It's like 80 degrees in LA. And you know what else is heating up? The Patreon. I want to welcome Joe to the Patreon. Literally like right when I was at another low point, Patreon came through, so thank you. And I sent a nice message, especially at this point. Yeah, if you're joining the Patreon, you're gonna get a message from Lal. Okay, that's how it works. And he said he hopes that I get too popular to send messages, but I like it. I don't mind it. I like it. I like the communication. I like getting a little feedback. More on that later. One love for sure. We had some YouTube activity. We got some new subscribers. Thank you guys. That helps out a lot. And then this is funny. So Wolf Cat with a Gun on YouTube. And I think he was sent my way from Brendan Cooney. So thank you. Shout out Raccoon Tweeties. But Wolf Cat with a Gun, this is on the last episode, commented, "Don't mean to be rude. Your mic is picking up mouth smacking and swallow sounds. Maybe reach out to Gerardo or Aaron for help." Aaron, of course, Aaron Bungart from World Record Podcast. But I just thought that was funny because, well, first off, I was just joking with him. I was like, those stay. But clearly, as you can tell, I got the little screener thing. We'll see how it sounds. People have different things that they notice when they listen to stuff. I probably would never in a million years notice that type of stuff, but some people do. But I do think it's funny that this person specifically called out Raccoon Tweeties / 10 Minutes of Shab and World Record Podcast, two podcasts where routinely the host will burp directly into the mic. So that I just thought that was a little funny, but as you can see, noted. Thank you. He did say this though. He did call me Mr. Whole Foods. I don't really know what that means. I don't know exactly what the reference is. I don't really shop at Whole Foods. I think I've been there once or twice. That parking lot's too much of a nightmare for me. I've always been more of a Albertsons boy. I like Albertsons. I go over there. That's what I do. What's been going on with the pod? We got the mixer going.
God damn it!
We got some drops.
Apparently, I've never been on live television before.
He's one of the worst students we've got.
Not great, Bob.
We'll save some more for later. But what happened? Oh, I posted that thing about the psychosexual aspect to the Tim Walz choice. People got big mad. I deleted a lot of the comments just because I don't know. I guess you could go that whole route of getting like crazy negative engagement or whatever, but that's not really what this is all about. But it was funny. Like, people were just getting really mad. I wish that I had saved some of the responses, because what they were doing was they were like literally proving what I was saying. Like it was, this was striking a nerve with these people so deep in the heart of themselves. Felt like I was onto something. And then, but what did happen because of that clip was I got in touch with my old pal, Todd Glass. He must have seen it on something. He reached out. He gave me some nice compliments about the set downstairs. So thank you, Todd. We might be seeing some elements of Todd Glass in here. I'll leave it at that. Don't want to give away too much, and who knows. It was just nice to catch up with Todd, though. Really funny. Check out, if you don't know Todd Glass is super funny, but his TikTok is, he used to have a podcast. I used to do it every once in a while. Super fun. He's one of the funniest guys, but his TikTok is so funny. Check it out if you haven't. There's a good one about lasagna soup. I don't want to give too much away, but there we go. But enough about the podcast. My week. Let's see. How was my week? It was pretty good. Jeez, oh God, this is crazy. It's so hot. Jesus Christ, this is like uncomfortable. I usually do it downstairs where it's a little cooler, and I've got the AC right here, but it blows out the sound. So it's going to be a hot one tonight. Geez, wow.
Not great, Bob.
My week's been pretty good, though. It's been busy as hell. Like, my week has been super busy. I'm doing this literally. I waited until I worked from home today. I waited till the moment I was technically off the clock, and I hit the record button. It's been that kind of week. How's your week? I hope you're hanging in there. I did have some fun, though. I got back into therapy. I did therapy again. I don't know. Therapy's been hit or miss for me here and there, but I am right now trying not to actively poison myself or sabotage myself. But the big change is I got a lady therapist. I've never had a lady therapist, and she's a pretty lady therapist, so I am locked in to change and be better. We'll see how that goes. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but anyway, definitely hearing people outside, that's fine. I did a dance class this weekend. Shout out again to Aaron Lampart and Lampart Dance. Really fun. Great way to start the weekend. Had a little bit of fun Friday night. Got a little wild with old Jimmy Fritz, but not too crazy, and was able to do everything I needed to do this weekend, which was fun. And maybe I feel like I am just, this is gross. Ugh, I do not like this. Got to figure this out. Is it disgusting? Ugh. Am I going to stop? I'm just going to keep going. Ugh, I hate this, though. This is it.
Not great, Bob.
God damn it!
I went to a Red Cross show with my friend Megan. I've been having so many moments like this. So I thought I bought one of their albums. And then I get an email and I see on my calendar that they're playing tonight. And a lot of times I'll put on the calendar, if I know it's a band I might want to see, I'll put it out there. I'll put it there, and then maybe I'll get the ticket later, maybe I won't. But this time I did, and I looked, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I bought this album, and I looked for the album in my email box. I don't have the album. What I did have was, on 2 separate occasions, I bought 1 ticket. So that means I decided to go to the show, got the ticket, forgot I did that, and then did the same thing again. I go to Stuff Alone all the time. I love it. But when I realized it the day of, and so thankfully Megan could come. We had a great time. And then when I went back home, I was like, I actually do really want that album. I ordered it. I went to go order it, and then it was waiting there in the cart. So I don't know what's going on with my brain recently. This is crazy how hot this is. This is nuts. Let's see, what else is going on this week? I'm going to St. Vincent tomorrow. Went to Wee Spa last night. Chilled. But then this morning woke up with a knot in my back, so I don't know what the fuck. Who gives a shit? Let's see, what do we got?
Talk to me, baby.
What I realized I did was I don't really have any positive drops. They're all kind of mad,
God damn it!
So let's crowdsource a positive one. What's a good idea for a positive? I feel like I am just sweating like crazy. Let's just run through this podcast then. Actually, that's a kind of good indicator. Let's just go. Some bull crap I saw online. Did you see this thing where the Disney wants wrongful death suit thrown out because widower bought an Epcot ticket and had Disney Plus? I mean, Mickey, come on, gosh, that's just not right. What was this? I feel like I'm going to melt into a puddle. This is crazy. How do people do this shit? I don't know. I don't know what this thing is, so I'm skipping that. Here's what I do know. I watched this so you don't have to. I think what I'm going to do eventually, I actually have an electric guitar. I think with this mixer I can just plug it in directly. I might try to fuck around and make some little intros for these different segments, but I watched it so you don't have to. Bernie Sanders was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. Right? It wasn't the other way around? No. Bernie Sanders was on Theo Vaughn's podcast. It was actually kind of a good, talk, for what it was. And Theo Vaughn's super funny, just naturally, just the way that this guy is. This is one of the exchanges that really stood out to me. Let's watch it, and then, yeah, here we go.
Right now, you're in Vermont, which is one of the smallest states in the country. It's a very rural state.
It's beautiful.
Burlington is the largest city with 40,000. I used to be mayor here, But you go into small towns, everybody knew everybody. Often they were dairy farmers. We had a lot of dairy farmers. People work really hard being a dairy farmer.
Oh, yeah. I used to work at Cold Stone Creamers for a while. So not the same, but I get it.
So there's a lot of that. There's a moment where Bernie's talking about paperwork, and Theo's like, that's bureaucracy, right? And Bernie's like, that's right. But it was a really good talk, and it's kind of interesting just to see, someone like Theo Vaughn just talking about all this stuff. Really cool, pretty thoughtful. And it stupidly gave me a little bit of hope for humanity, which is strange, but it did. Let's get to the jokes, because I feel like I'm in a sauna at Wii Spa right now. Okay, so let's look at this. Starbucks CEO is out. Chipotle's Brian Nickel is taking over. When asked about the change, the new CEO, Nickel replied, "What can I say? I just love stuff that makes people shit."
He's one of the worst students we've got.
Let's see. Multiple arrests have been made in connection to Matthew Perry's death, and we actually have a picture of the arrestees here. Astronomers finally solved 1,000-year-old cosmic mystery. Turns out the space butler did it. Then we got RFK Jr. reached out to Harris' campaign about administration role in exchange for endorsement. The role, Secretary of Department of Housing and Urban Development, and coming across dead bear cub carcasses and hiding them in Central Park.
He's one of the worst students we've got.
All right, let's get to the voicemails. This is 13 minutes. Oh my God, that's so funny. Let's see, what do we got?
All right, here we go. Well, let's see. Is there good dating advice? I'm currently single, but I feel like it's popping off on all the apps and stuff. But personally, I don't think you find love on the apps. You find strange rarity. So I'm going to do the offer advice to all the single people out there. I think you should just be yourself. If you can, get a cool voice. I feel like a lot of people that I've dated, gone on dates with, they're hypnotized with it, but also character yourself with fun activities. Just get into reading. Read a few more things than what is out there on the internet, like a fun fiction. Treat it like a sixth grade reading class. You go on a date, you have dinner or something, you go hit up a dive bar afterwards, bring a sixth grade reading level book to the table to discuss, not the actual book, but the content of it. Be like, oh, hey, I recently read Timothy's Cave, and this strange hierarchy of different classes between this young boy and somebody who was a worker on the boat. It went full tilt, and they learned about the humanities of others whenever the young man is struck in the back of the head by a piece of driftwood in the boating crash. And they come to rely on each other, and a kinship is formed that, will surpass lifetimes in the voice of the narrator. Hit them with that, something fun. Or stay up to date on sports. Pretty fun time, Any good date, go to a minor league ball game, go to see some G League basketball, and just remember, you don't have to find love. You might just find a good friend.
That was Bryce calling in again. Thank you, Bryce. You always have some good stuff to say. Yeah, I agree. I think that like the more pressure you put on this stuff, the worse off you're gonna do. You definitely have an interesting voice, and you've definitely talked about minor league baseball before, so I like that. Yeah, I think it is. I think that there's some truth to that. Sorry, I was playing with this lemon. I'm going to bring this up. Look, this lemon has a beauty mark. You guys see that? What's up with that? Okay, let's see. Let's move on. This one is a little weird.
Call me.
Someone just left a voicemail and said, "Call me." If I had everything set up right, I would call you right now and see what's up. But maybe I'll try to interact with you off pod and see what we can get to. I don't know if this person. I put out the thing asking for incels. I don't think no one really did. We do have some voicemails, but nothing like that. But we're going to build up to that. And you guys, once you guys are going to put out the word about that, you're going to see incels out in the wild. Maybe you know a friend that needs some help. And this is non-gendered, by the way. This could be for anybody. Perry and I really don't know what the word incel means, but anyone that needs dating advice, send them my way. I want to help out, but this is a very, very ominous one. Just a kind of, I can't tell if it's really sad per se, but just a little defeated. Call me. I like that. We'll see if I do. But, my thing is always like, hey, you got the voicemail, leave the voicemail. Those are the directions. When people don't follow directions, it's kind of like, what's going on? I hope they're okay. But it's like, you gotta have your own boundaries. You gotta look out for yourself. All right, here's our last voicemail. Thank God, because I gotta fucking melt into I'm gonna take a shower after this. This is crazy. All right, here we go.
Hey, Alan, this is Liz. I'm not necessarily looking for any dating advice at the moment, but I'd be so curious to hear, do you have any fun dating mishap stories or, it's just a date that went absolutely wrong or just something like that, that you can now look back and laugh at? I feel like you would have some really interesting stories to share. Cool. Thanks. Love the pod. Bye, Ellen.
Thank you, Liz, for calling in. Liz, one of our favorites, our Patreon member here. I'm trying to think. It's so funny because all the ones that are like truly bad, you kind of just and honestly, a lot of times it's just like if it's bad, it just means it was boring or like you guys didn't hit it off or like whatever. So those stories are kind of like those kind of are the ones that go away. I swear to God, I'm not trying to humble brag here, but here are two stories that I do think at least maybe this would be filed under mishap. How about that? I meet someone at a comedy show, and it's so funny because I always hear a lot of my female comedian friends. They're always, a big complaint is about how like guys don't approach them after shows in the same way that like maybe women will approach men after shows. And I'm not disputing that at all, but I will still say the type of person that approaches a stand-up comedian after their set in a flirty or whatever way, they might be as broken as the stand-up comedian. Let me say it that way. So I'm doing a house show. This is back when house shows were like everywhere, and I meet someone, and we flirt, we hit it off. There's the juice and everything, and then we get numbers, I think, and make plans to go on a date. And I go, and I was freshly single too, so I was kind of like. Or was I freshly single? I forget exactly when it was, but I think it was close to when I moved in here, or maybe it was no, I'm getting this wrong. I know what I just did there. That's not true, but I did go to the same restaurant. That's what happened. Okay, which is also something. When I first moved into this place here, I would just go to the same spot every time. And then one of my friends who worked there as a waitress was like, Alan, you're not supposed to do that. And I was like, oh, okay, wow, I didn't know. Heaven forbid life just is simple for me for a moment. So I go with this girl, and it's like, it's kind of testy, but kind of in that flirty, testy way. And it's going fine, but then kind of like out of nowhere, she asked me to help. She brings up that she's moving, and she asked me to help her move like tomorrow. And I like literally, I think I met this person on that. This was maybe the weekend. I probably met her on the Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. So this is like literally just meet, and then she's asking me to move. Now, one thing you got to know about me: moving is my one of least favorite things. Maybe besides trying to find a new job, moving. And moving maybe is actually worse. I really do hate moving. I don't really know why. I like traveling. I'm a very hyperactive kind of person. I like moving around, but I hate getting everything together and moving. It makes me want to just burn everything and start over. But she asked me this question, and I think she's joking. So I start laughing like really loud, and she like looks at me like I'm laughing at her, which I understand when you're not. I wasn't meaning to be mean. It's just there was a chasm between the joke and like I thought that she was being funny. She wasn't. And then I'm not gonna lie, I got mad. I was like, you would ask someone that? Like that to me, and this was like a beautiful woman. I imagine, you got to remember, there's, what did they call it, pretty privilege or whatever. It's like, and probably in her world, like asking someone to help them move out of nowhere, like, maybe someone would have said yes. That person is not me. Maybe it would have been me years and years and years ago. Wasn't me then, not me now. And she, so we're both mad. We're mad at each other. We're mad at the moment. And we had not ordered yet. I think we maybe had drinks, but we hadn't ordered food yet. And I just go, you know what? Let me get the check. Let's just end the date, because this isn't like, I think this is like a sign right now that this isn't going to work. And then she kind of maybe caught up in the moment. Was like, fine, whatever. And so then I'm like, well, let me, we leave. I do pay. We leave. And I'm like, well, I'm still going to walk you to wherever. And she like, she got so like worked up and mad that I did something that was not what was supposed to happen. Needless to say, we had a as good a night as you can have after that, and then dated for a little bit longer. But we should have at that moment. We should have done that. We should have walked away at that moment. But we had a little fun in between the fighting, if you know what I mean. But and then the other story I will say that kind of falls into this is someone I met. I'm going over to their place for the first time, and we have like a great. This was like a totally like, we had a great time. We go back to her place. We have a great time at her place. I wake up and like, I'm only saying this for the sake of the story. I'm not trying to be too, whatever, but we had a very vigorous vocal experience together that night. Now, the reason I say that is because I spend the night, I wake up, I go upstairs to get some water or something in the morning, and there is a maybe 85-year-old man sitting at a table. And I just kind of, immediately like, oh, I think I'm wearing boxers, like, and he just kind of waves hello, and I say hello, and I get the water, and I go down, and then she's up. And I just kind of was like, what? And she just goes, oh, yeah, I live with my grandfather. So anyway, those are two stories. Thank you very much for calling, Liz, and thank you for being a Patreon. It really does mean a lot. Oh, I did want to say this, too, before we leave. We had the call in last week that was in Spanish, and Senorita Mandita on YouTube translated it. So here it is. Well, I'll put it up here, but then, yes, you understood market, watermelon, and refreshing juice. He said his mom knocks on the watermelon to hear the sound/rhythm to find the sweetest one. So it's a very, very sweet... sweet voicemail. After all, I really want to know how these people, like how the Call Me guy and how that guy found this, and anyway, call in again, please. Let's unbox. We have an unboxing. Wow, this has actually lasted 25 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm so sweaty, guys. I guess it really pays to only listen to the podcast, huh? I feel like this has got to look disgusting. But anyway, here we go. Let's see, unbox it. I think I do know what it is actually, but oh, no. I just slice like my, You're not supposed to you're actually not supposed to cut towards yourself. I remember that from being in Boy Scouts. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. There are gummy bears in there. Okay, so that's a very nice note. Yes. Thank you. But this is a great album. Faster I Run by Jessica Boudreau. She was in Summer Cannibals. They're cool. I think I might have talked about it. Got it on vinyl. It's awesome. Back Then is a great song. Be Somebody Else is a great song. Exactly Where You Want to Be. Main Character, Suffering. Cut and Run, Smoke. Literally, it's banger after banger. Great singer, songwriter, rock and roll. Check it out. This is what I saw that this came today, and I was like, you know what? I know I've been sitting on the pod. I've been busy, but I was like, let me do my little trick of like this. I want to listen to this album. Let me use it as what's the word? Like a incentive to sit down and work everything out and record. And I think it actually worked.
Talk to me, baby.
So thank you for listening. This has been Finding My Audience. I'm Alex Strickland Williams. We'll be back next week-ish.